Here we go.
With over 6 months of waiting for the next Nintendo Direct, it finally comes to us in a fashion with giving us Super Mario Maker 2. Everybody is super excited about this. We cannot wait to get our hands on it here at Nintendo Land, and I can tell you right now that this was already planned. We already knew this was happening. It was leaked, and we're just super excited to talk about this game and show off what this game has in store compared to its predecessors. So without further ado, let's dive in to the trailer of Super Mario Maker 2. So right off the rip, it's clear to Nintendo fans what's going on here. Nintendo is listening. They added slopes, and it's clear to see what they're doing here with the spikies and everything. But before we can get to that segment, we get a look at what the overview of the tool set looks like on the Nintendo Switch itself. Along the top, we have pretty much the basics with the enemies, the items, the platforms, the blocks. All that stuff is pretty much the same. But on the left-hand column, a little bit differences here. Here we have the main type of game set being Super Mario World. Right underneath, we have backgrounds or themes, which we'll get to later on, and then a camera right underneath that one. But to the right, there's some other platforms that it's kind of hard to make out. One looks like a boat, and one looks like some type of pin. I don't know if you'll be able to draw. Maybe they had to add that on later on, but it looks like almost like a paintbrush or a pen. We're just going to have to wait and see. As far as the boat, it could really be anything at this point. You know, we just don't know. Underneath that, we have the time limit being 300 seconds, and then under that is a mountain with a road path leading up to a flag. And if I'm not mistaken, this will probably work as a way to view the level in a zoomed out fashion so you can see, you know, everything that you've placed. And this would actually be really unique to help you understand what your level looks like from the outside, in case maybe you want to do some level art like you see in some of these pro Mario Maker builders. But right under that, you have two icons, and they look to be, you know, pretty much coherent as they are beside each other. One is obviously the marker that shows where Mario has been running. It shows you, you know, his paths that he's take, so you can, you know, learn from your mistakes and make the level better. But beside it is a small button that has a picture of a little red guy and a little green guy, and we're not sure what this is either. This is also a new button. This could be represented in some type of multiplayer, but there's no way to say for sure. Towards the right side of the panel, we have a magnifying glass, which is probably where you pull up some of the tools and stuff. And then you have an options menu, the robot, which changes some sounds and stuff like that. And then you have an eraser, so you can obviously erase some things that you have done, made mistakes. And then there's a rocket to clear the whole stage of all the things that you've made so you can start from scratch. There is a new thing, however. It looks like almost like some type of grocery cart with the number 1 in it. This could be represented on the platform that you're on. So pretty much in Mario Maker, you can have subset levels, meaning if you go down the pipe, it takes you to a part 2 of that level that you can create. Maybe this is part 1, and that's how they, you know, kind of handle that. And maybe the cart will stack up higher for the more subsets of levels you go up. Last game, you were allowed 2 different ones. Maybe you can do more here. But of course, we'll find out more about that later. Then we get a better look at the tool set, and we get our first look at enemies, and everything is categorized so much better this time around. We have enemies, you know, keys and stuff like that, coins, blocks, and it's just so organized, and I love that. For the enemies, we see things like Goombas, Koopa Troopas, Buzzy Beetles, Spinies, Bloopers, fish, you know, all kinds of stuff like that. We have Piranha Plants, Munchies, Thwomp, you know, Mounty Moles, Chomps, all kind of stuff that we're pretty much used to, and nothing too special there. We can see that there will be 4 different subsets of enemies, which I'm hoping that there's more because I'm pretty sure there's a lot more enemies that they can do. But at least here, it shows 4 subsets as you can see the 4 dots right below the enemy tab. And to the left, it enters the coin and item tab, as you can see some coins, a 10 coin this time, a red key coin, a mushroom, fire flower, power star, and a feather. And then to the left are the blocks with, you know, invisible blocks, regular blocks, brick blocks, stuff like that. Now with the terrain, we get a new look at some of the new terrains. Just some logs, some mushroom platforms, some spikes, some pipes, but of course, platforms and steep slopes. That's awesome. And it looks like you have steep slopes and just regular slopes because there's another form right below it that's just not as steep. And to the left, we can see some more blocks, which we will see later on in the trailer, which are the snake blocks, the fire blocks, and even an on and off switch that straight from Super Mario World, so that's pretty cool. Some conveyor belts and some other things that are kind of new. Also, a red block that I'm not 100% sure what that is. I cannot remember much about Super Mario World and what that might be, so if you know in the comments, please let me know. I'll be really excited to see what that is. And then from here, we'll see how the slopes work, which are pretty much you know, super simple. You just put the slope down and stretch it as far as you want it to go, and it connects to the terrain. And Mario can go sliding down, running up them, and all kind of stuff. And that's just pretty neat. Moving on, we start to see some more in-depth stuff. We see some new enemies, some new themes, and just a whole lot of cool things going on here. First off, these new enemies blow Mario up into the air. That looks like something like the Patooies and stuff from like Super Mario Odyssey that we saw, and that's pretty unique. We see the desert theme with the crazy sun chasing Mario, which is also brand new for Super Mario Maker, which is also really cool. We see a winter theme and these snake blocks brought back where you just simply draw a path for the snake blocks to follow, and they will follow. But last but not least, you have a brand new jungle theme, and you have Yoshi with you, and it's just really cool how you can see that you can control the tide of water as the water raises and lowers. That's just really unique, and that's something that always, you know, I thought should have been added. And well, when you look at that, Nintendo answers my own question with the blocks. They are just the colors of blocks that depend solely on the on and off switches. So once you hit a certain on switch, the blocks will turn off and turn blue or red, or blue or red, depending on what blocks you hit and what you trigger. So that's pretty cool. That is too much in depth for me, so I probably won't be using those. Speaking back at past things, remember that pin I told you about earlier on in the video? Well, it turns out to be a feather that allows you to control this bird and control the verticality of the level, which is also really unique in what something people wanted. You can control the speed, as you can see the arrows and everything, so that's really unique, and I am really excited to do that because some levels that you want to replicate or something have the verticality, like the castle levels in the new Super Mario Bros. Game. And it also looks like it tells you how many coins are in each level. Here we get a first look at our new theme being Super Mario 3D World. We get some unique terrain, being some, you know, donut blocks that fall down, some clouds, some spiky traps, some like squiggled mountain blocks, and even clear pipes, which is actually really cool that you can go through these clear pipes. And I'm wondering how that's going to work. And that could work some really cool level design. We got some items as well, being the Super Bell, a 1-up mushroom, Power Star mushroom, Fire Flower, red coin, and so on. We also get a look at some of the enemies, being just a Goomba, Koopa Troopa, the Big Puff Fish, Little Fish, Bloopers, Spikies, Spinies, you know, stuff like we normally see. But we see some 3D World exclusive enemies like the Ant Trooper, the Bully, the Hop Trapper, the Hammer Bro, the little Buzzy Bee, the little rats, you know, and some Piranha plants, the Naval Piranha plant and stuff like that, which is also really cool to see return. We also get to see some unique enemy customization here, as you grab the giant Piranha plant here, and it looks like you get different variants. You can make them big, you can give them wings, you can give them a parachute to fall down from the sky, you can even turn him into a fiery Piranha plant, which is pretty cool. Now we see something unique to 2D Mario, which includes trees that you can climb up. Here he puts down a Super Bell tree and puts in a Super Bell item inside the tree, and then once Mario climbs up it, the item pops out for him to grab. This is really cool and pretty sweet for a 2D game. Some other cool things that you can do they showed off was climb up walls as Cat Mario, and even make the set paths for the spiky Piranha plants the way they would move in Super Mario 3D World. Here you have the exclamation blocks, which once hit gives you more blocks to climb up on or to get to other places. You have the clear tubes, which actually go underwater here in this section, and Mario shooting fireballs, which goes through them in other areas, which is really cool, and I could think can really set up to some cool, unique level designs. And then you have the Bowser stage type of theme. I think this is going to be more of the lava theme. It doesn't really say what this is going to be, but this is kind of the circus theme that we see in the very last level of Super Mario 3D World as you're making your way up to Bowser. But here you have some kind of foreground, background play where you have the bonsai bills coming in, and you have some cages placed where you looks like you can crawl on, and some really cool, unique platforms to walk on and stuff. And Nintendo's really going out of their way to make this game look very unique. Here we get to the end of the video where we see some new things added. We see some platforms that you can make that tilt back and forth. We see some cool poisonous area with like a starry background where I have no clue what type of theme that's going to take place in. But it's some really cool things, some parachutes where the enemies can fall down with. You know, you got the clown car that shoots fire again. You got Bowser. We have this cool jungle theme and the Mario 3D World theme. We got Bam Bam down there at the bottom. Tons of enemies flying in, including bonsai bills that interact so cool with that 3D aspect. But like I said, it's just like a starry night sky. I'm not sure what that is, but this 3D World theme looks really cool, and I'm really excited to try that one out as the background blends so well, and it feels just a little bit different than New Super Mario Bros. In its own way. And I can't wait to play with that more. And all the enemies have this 3D appeal to them, even though it's in a 2D level, and that's just so exciting. We also get a new picture on the Nintendo eShop right now showing off some potential new characters, being Toadette in a cat suit, Toad with some type of hammer and hard hat, Luigi in a cat suit, and just some other enemies and stuff flying around. But if you look at the bottom right, it's very weird that we get a Koopa Troopa with no shell on, just his little white t-shirt, and he's in some type of car, which we cannot figure out what type of game that even comes from. But yeah, this is Luigi again, thinking that maybe you can, like, you know, play as Luigi, kind of co-op, maybe build things co-op, since it has like Mario and Luigi helping each other build. Maybe that's kind of the premise this time around, but yep, this Koopa Troopa in his little car, smashing some blocks, having some rage. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this picture as we move on towards the end of the trailer. And then we get an end title saying that it's coming out in June 2019, which is very soon, and we get a picture of Mario and Luigi together as well, which is making me wonder, is this going to be some type of multiplayer added this time around? We'll have to wait and find out. Thank you guys for tuning into the video. If you guys have seen something that I missed, let me know down in the comments below, and I will get started working on the Zelda one next for Link's Awakening. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you on the next one. See ya, guys.